Wow. What an intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big
There's
building
birthday
where
balloons.
he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then
Classic
one day,
Stanley.
something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I got an achievement. Welcome back.
All of his co-workers were gone.
The lights
What
are
did it
off.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I wonder if this dude just sharpens pencils all day. That would be quite the existence. I like work, I just hate my boss. Ouch. Poor boss. Wait, are these coffee cups full? No, I think they're empty. So you can't turn the monitors on in this, you can only turn them off. Wonder why that is. I saw something on Twitter that I'd like to try. New gun.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay, so this is the new find. You can sort of skirt around this. Oh my gosh, I did it! First try, maybe. Oh, am I stuck? Did I make a mistake? Oh! I fell. No way this vent leads somewhere.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it
Oh my
seemed the office had
gosh.
begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path.
The captions are gone. Wow.
That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path.
This is
That it seemed
neat.
the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it
Oh
seemed
my
the
god,
office had
cassette
begun from
tapes?
so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun.
I've never actually... Well, I guess I must have seen a tape at some point in my life.
That it seemed the
But
office had begun from so far
that's
off the
interesting.
beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path.
Yeah, there's gotta be somewhere else way off the beaten path.
That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path. That it
A
seemed
whole
the
new
office had
ending.
begun from so far off the beaten
I
path.
kind of want to
That it
explore
seemed the
like
office
the
had
not
begun
new
from so
content
far
then,
off the beaten path.
if there's
That it
potential
seemed the
for
office had begun from so
new stuff.
far off the beaten path.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Alright,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
why
he
is
had
this so
simply missed a
dark? What the
memo.
heck? Has this hallway always been so dark? Anyways, I
Stanley
think there's
came to
more.
a set of two open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley
There's
knew it
more on that
perfectly
path.
well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's do more old
Stanley was
content.
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So I always theorized that you could land on one of those trucks and go out that B door. But if this game does have fall damage, you could land on the boxes down there. Let's try.
But in his eagerness to prove
No.
that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I could do more new content. I don't know though.
When Stanley came to a set
Let's
of two
do
open
the,
doors, this was not
the
the
going
correct
left
way to
after.
the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Is
well.
that the confusing ending?
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business,
This is a weird
Stanley took the
playthrough, 'cause
first open door on his
I
left.
did play the original, but this is like a remake, but I know stuff.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
That makes sense, that door is closed.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping in...
Wow, I guess so you can just get back on track there. That's interesting. Because now I'm back in the rocket pod ending. So I guess I can just reset because we've seen this. But there might be... Wait a second. The new content is still... Oh, it's closed? Well, this is blowing my mind. What the heck? That door can close? Dang. Was there ever any resolution for this ending? You just get in the rocket ship and leave, I think. And there's more down there. This is an interesting ending. I wonder why it was that door that was chosen to be the catalyst for getting here. The boss's room. This game, I mean, this and the original, kind of have like that eerie feeling to it. Where like you could hear about an ending and you'd be like, there's no way that's a thing. And then you'd go play it and then you'd be like, wait. That vent actually goes somewhere? You can jump off the lift? You know, all this stuff that you'd never think. Oh, there's Minecraft. Although we didn't get to see Minecraft. This is such a big room. What the heck? Is that how that was supposed to
All
go?
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
There's
decided
no
to go to
escape
the
pod.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, new content. I want to look at everything
Stanley
on
came
the
to a
right.
set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
what's
stop
kinda
by
sad
the
about
employee
this
lounge
game?
first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible
There's like no
room,
reason to buy the
Stanley for
original
first,
Stanley
eager
Parable
to get back
remake.
to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
There's that walkway there
I'm not
too,
your
but I don't think you can
enemy,
get to
really,
it.
I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
You didn't notice I jumped off? Anyways, my theory was that you could land on that truck right there. But it didn't work in the past.
Really? I was in the middle of something. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
You would think a truck would be like better to land on than concrete, but
Stanley
whatever.
knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
Wait, what the heck? Those doors
Just a
are
matter
open.
of time.
Is that? That's not how that's supposed to be. Weed.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
I wonder if... Wait, there was an achievement in the original. Let me open up Steam. There's an achievement in the original where you clicked on a door. Click on door 435 times. Play Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday.
Nor did it
I'm not
advance
running
the
my
story
computer
in
for
any
that
way.
long. 430 though. Can I find that? There it is.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
I don't know, if it's not 100, I don't really feel very impressed. That's just me though.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Wait, where is that door? I don't think I passed it. I think it's later on.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437. Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
Am I Stanley?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
No, is that the new content one? Wait. Did I break it? No, where's door 416? No way. Is this how it all ends? I think that's supposed to be door 416. No! Did I get cheesed? 415. There's no door 416. I got cheesed. Have I really made it all this way just to be let down at the end?
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Hey. Maybe the narrator meant this. No, this one. That's not a 6. 3. Ah, there's no numbers over there. Whatever.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Uh-oh, it's unresolved. There's no 416. No. Feel so let down. Alright, let's go to your idiot museum to see your idiot
Stanley,
ideas
I've been
that are
reflecting
dumb.
on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Yo.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up.
That is
Why,
not
there are so many
lost.
possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does
Wait,
it
is this
even
the
mean?
Shining floor?
But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
So I must
For the
have missed
Stanley
something.
Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself...
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button.
Dang.
Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine you're...
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead,
I can't even think about it. I'm taking the gym button away.
Gym, 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 gym.
That button is just right. I'll give you that, narrator. Can I walk into the light? Yes. But not in the way that I was expecting. Like when you walk out of the window. Oh, right, I think
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
You know, there's just a chair there. Oh, the reassurance bucket. Yeah, that one's good. Oh, settings world champion? I don't think I've seen this before. New area. Oh, I have to do the settings thing. Alright. Is an achievement for
This
that should have gotten me the achievement, I think. That was for changing all the sliders. Does this count as a slider?
this
I'd have to do it like this. Oh, there's more down here. Is there anything? That should be everything. Content warnings. Interesting. Oh, that's neat. You can change the opacity. Oh, I really like it at 0, actually. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at 0, actually. Good thing I checked settings. I guess I'm not enough of a champion, though. Oh yeah, let's get that free achievement. I like that guy. I wonder if that's Jim.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers,
I wonder if there's a way to fix
and I
this.
promise it will happen.
Oh well, I've looked at it for 5 seconds. It's all the attention I could spare. Oh, wait, the light flickered. Probably not because of me. I think just because that light flickers. Wait, can I sneak in here? Sneak it? Sneaky, sneaky secret? Oh, is there a doll back here? I can't see anything. Oh god. Where am I? Okay. That was a bit scary, actually. Don't like dark spaces.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I've been here already. Dang. Wait, where have I not been? I don't think I've been to the hole in a bit. Anything I'm missing? Besides the settings thing, doesn't look like it. Oh, there's this, but that's still broken.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice... Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
It's always the other one.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
This is the hole. The hole that never ends.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue on. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Alright, I think we should be good. So after we've seen everything, what does the narrator say? Have we looked at the merch? Look at how it just says infinity tied to the middle. This kind of looks like hair at like a microscopic level. But I think that's just the ground. Whole entrance infinity. This is way out of my depth. I don't think I could ever comprehend an infinity. Definitely not like two infinities. Or infinity to the infinity power, like no, get me out of there, that's too much, you know? Collect them all. Can you find them? Oh, there's an exit.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh, look at that. That's actually kind of sick. I like that a lot. So what's this supposed to be? A girl with hands with coffee mugs for limbs. This is a soldier made out of chairs and buckets. That's a bunch of boxes. Let's actually grab the bucket just so I can have it real quick. Kind of getting some separation anxiety from it. I gotta say, I really like how they went for the like YouTube thumbnail type of thing. Like I could probably use this as a thumbnail. 999. This honestly does look like a YouTube thumbnail. I love it. I wish my thumbnails could look this good. They put the baby in a suit. And it's headed to bakery. Oh, baby. A triple. Alright, there's my bucket. 344. Let me just write that down. There's a chance that that does something in the, It probably won't, but there's a chance it does something to the boss's keypad. Oh, there's the bucket. Perfect.
A common complaint of the Stanley parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Wow, that comes from all the way up there.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Gimme.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh, elevator? No. These aren't real elevators. Button that says gym, we've seen that. What about this is epilogue? I do want to make sure I've seen everything. The YouTube thumbnail zone. Just the right amount of change. The pre-achievement, we got that. Investors showcase the magazine. This year's hottest investment opportunities. Sequels, what's better than that? Nothing. Top 10 investors currently visiting the show floor. Yeah, I think I'm probably the best investor of all time. Apple stock to the moon. Wait, did this change? No, this is the same. It's so cool looking. New mug. They should say old mug, and then they could be like, this is my new old mug. And I guess with this one, you could say this is my old new mug. That's not the same.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it can
Ooh, this is exciting.
a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh, the jumps,
Well, I mean, there's potential here,
they
right? It's
refresh.
sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
No, I like that!
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good.
Oh, did I miss that
Here we go.
collectible?
Version 2.
Oh, I can't reach
Who
it.
am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Can I get down there?
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course.
Yeah.
With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Yo. The confidence in this. The red is so striking. I think this is endless. Endless loop, perhaps? Or do we come to a stop at Stanley's office? This is cool.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big
Bully.
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427.
Like if you also
job
hiccup.
was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, there's the bucket. Wait, I should look around more.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I really do not want to miss that collectible. That would make me so sad. is that barrier?
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Hell yeah, he did. Balloon. That balloon has its own chair. So spoiled. There's 416. Freaking narrator.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Is this guy gone now? I swear there was a guy in there, in that painting.
Still no one was here. Stanley
the
needed
table
the
has a
bucket's
hole
warmth
in
and
it.
comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What the fuck?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Heck off, broom closet.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Alright. I guess I've said all I need to say.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
Two, 8, 4.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo. You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Well, that was a little bit of a happy moment there. I did savor it. Let's see what we got.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
No! Oh, okay, I stole my bucket. I was a little scared.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Haha, speedrun skip.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Gonna be
Was
okay,
the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Alright,
But
silver
here was
bucket.
the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place, not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
No. That's so sad. You can't have a happy ending with the bucket. After all they went through together. Wow.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
The meeting room. I guess I can't take you with bucket. Or maybe...
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched
Maybe
the
there's
bucket
still a
tightly
way.
to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home. Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
This is like the reverse broom closet. If you think about it. I just love this room. Something about the blue and the white. Like, wow, I wish my room looked like this. I have like white ceilings and floors like this one, but I mean ceilings and walls, but my floor isn't blue, it's white. It's carpet. If it was blue though, that would be striking. And these chairs, they look so comfortable. I mean, maybe a little bit low to the ground. I don't really like that cushion. Looks like it'd be kind of scratchy to sit in for like a long period of time, but if you have to sit down for like 5 minutes, it's passable. But I don't know if I could like read a book in that, you know? Like my chair. I do like that it's a planted chair. Like there's no wheels. My chair's wheels. I wonder if that's readable. On the bottom it says, "No, I'm happy," I think. No, I'm bringing... What is it that... Dang, I can almost read that. Wow, 125. I remember when everything was $1. And I got excited because there's this grilled cheese like food truck. And it was like $5 and you got a grilled cheese and a soda. And it's like, that's a price I'm happy paying, you know? And now I'm working at Starbucks and like if you order like a sandwich and a drink, that's like twice that. You know? Kind of miss being not in California. Although California is a pretty good place. Just the price of everything. Hi, Dad. Oh, it says number 1 Dad. Wait, you can get over here? I never knew that. Now I can read this cup. Be my Valentine. I hate Mondays. I guess those are kind of cliche ones. You can see that cup, but I don't think I've seen the Valentine cup. Wow, I've never been here in Stanley Parable 1 or 2. Truly uncharted territory. I don't know. It seems insignificant, but like, when you see prices go up, it's just like, kind of sad in a way. I don't know. I'm not explaining it well.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Good, said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
This is a downer ending. We'll see if the bucket can protect
No,
me.
stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment. Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right?
Alright,
This
let's see
should
if we
tell
can
us
figure this
everything
one
we'll
out.
ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
No!
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry.
Bucket hide.
I'm going to erase all buckets
No,
from the game
no,
entirely.
no.
Okay, here we go.
It says shit in the mirror.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Huh. Uh-oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Now let's see where the bucket takes me here.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride
Wait, there's
the lift
something
all
over
the way
there
to
now.
the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I gotta
Stanley
go
did
back
not
real
question
quick.
why or how, but Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
We gotta get that collectible, obviously.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Yeah.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
Let's get
calling
the
to him,
shmoney.
telling him that the employee lounge was
So we
simply the
got 3
place
out of
to
6
be.
after we
And
get this
here
one.
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands?
Mini
Stanley
stands?
figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
So, this new path, is there a safe way down? Does not look to be the case. Let's go in the vent. This time I have my bucket, so it shouldn't be too bad. There's no... It's not saying anything.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore.
Is that my computer overheating?
Study this bucket,
It's so loud.
the less sense anything makes.
Why is my computer dying?
The sheer euphoria I feel
Okay, now it's calm.
every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
That was so weird.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
For that, what's the original bucket holder, I suppose?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Interesting.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
Definitely
to the
need
meeting
the
room.
bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Wrong
Stanley
bucket.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, now I can actually take the lift.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Sequels now, boss. I'm gonna be right back. I have resumed.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Wish you were here, the freedom ending. Oh. Yeah, the bucket can't come. There you are, bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Ah, if that worked, that would have been crazy if I could get the achievement in this weird cutout version. Can I clip out? The chair doesn't even work. What's the easy way to fix that? What do I do here? Oh, there's a bucket.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Transfer solids. I don't know about gas, but...
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid.
He's
like
getting
it. Would be
it.
better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
He's starting to get it.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
It's just a candle stacked on wood. What are you doing, bucket? This is so unsafe. This is all wood.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Sorry, narrator. This bucket's taken.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I forget what happens in this one.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Huh.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
fireplace from? Was that in the original? Dude, this narrator is so jealous. Oh my gosh.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It did. There we go. Ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da. Wrong episode.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No. Wow, look at this room. It's kind of sick.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
No.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it for the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Huh. I think I was supposed to do something there.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh, that spooked me. I was holding the stick down
All
because
of
it was
his
a cutscene.
co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
What are you talking about? This is the right one. Yeah, I can hit this one.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the
I'm
bucket
sacrificing
tightly
the
to his
bucket.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And
Maybe
here
I
it
should leave
was
that for
the
last.
bucket turned out to be correct. No,
Just in case the
never
bucket gets
mind.
mad at me.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Back on track. Oh. Oh, we lost someone to getting that, I feel ya. It happens. Oh, is this gonna spoil me on where the arrests are? Someone in cargo room and play building a bridge. Do we need contracts for them? Can we sell them? Obviously, yeah. What do they want? Should we make them employees? Yeah, interns is better. Why do they look like 427? So this was the coworkers, right, that were abandoned. Or that abandoned Stanley in the first game. But they must have returned to look for figurines and then abandoned him again. In the lower... Wait. They returned, they wrote this because they knew who you are. How many are there? Hi, Milkman. Maybe we are the collectibles? A very warm place. It's gotta be the incinerator room. How we can find them, bottom text. Help, I'm a post-it. Meta, who took these pictures of them? Employee 416. Red room? Oh, red room. I remember that. So maybe I do have to leave the bucket behind for some of these. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. Oh, the bathroom? Oh, looks like 427. Spelunky! Spelunky reference. What the heck? Colin Northwod from Spelunky. Spelunky. They put a Spelunky man. Alright, let's go to the
Coming to
bathroom.
a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You gotta be in here, yeah.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
I was thinking with this one I'd get the back out ending. But I think if I just go for the furnace, I can finish up these collectibles before I go to bed. There's also a chance this does something now.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad
That actually
was
spooked me a bit.
2845.
2845. I should probably write that down somewhere because it takes so long for him to say that.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
No figurine there. Let's go take the furnace. Take the furnace home.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I really shouldn't
The door behind
put
them
the
was not
bucket
shut.
in danger.
Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Ooh, what's down here? I don't want to miss the collectible if it shows up.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Wait.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was
The
crushed
bucket's life.
violently to death.
We're out. The bucket saved me. Stanley? The Stanley Arable?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Alright, let's read about this. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void, but through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourselves and your loved ones as a result of the exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
The infinite hole? No, I don't think so. Bucket with 2 handles? Oh man. Like if you might be one of those after getting the idea. Does seem hard to resist. One can control a bucket. Stress bucket. You just put all your worries in the bucket and you pee them all away. There's a leak in the cave roof. I use a bucket. And then the deer get sustenance, of course. Wow. Allowing itself to be used. So generous.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Pretty late. I think I have to go for it, don't I? I don't think I could ever get it. No.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
But doesn't the bucket also die?
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Most rooms are. One more ending and then
Stanley
I'll
was so
end
bad
it
at
for
following
tonight.
directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why... I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that you're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Wow.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Wow.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing. Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here. No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You are going to stay here, aren't you?
I don't want to get the bad ending. I'll leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. One figurine away. This is a nice place. if you enjoyed this episode of Stanley Parable 2, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out.